see KSI is off Twitter, PewDiePie off Twitter. You kind of Twitter's not the place.
Yeah, I always feel Twitter's more personal because it's like, once again, it's not something that's on your account, not something that you can delete and like make it your own little safe space. Regardless what you've done or what you haven't done, people will come or not come for you, like, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's why I find Twitter a lot more targeted and
I think anyway. The first thing that happened a while ago was the stuff that we've spoken about, the Owen stuff, which happened.
Yeah.
That was the first thing, which was like, whether you want to call it misunderstanding or not.
Yeah,
like,
I've talked about that. Yeah.
I still stand by my point that I still felt like it wasn't right. But that being said, I still have respect for him, so I move on from that. I literally dropped
and you had your own conversation with
and we
each
had our
other.
own conversation, and it's fine. And also, like, I learned from that situation where, like, if I felt like I had a problem with something, then instead of doing something online, just like that, I'd just go to it.
It's done.
But then
Next
it had
point.
this snowball effect, didn't it?
Yeah, there were a couple, like 2 or 3, maybe 4 people or something who, like, names that stick out to me in notifications, where if, you know, when you can feel people, like kind of like half like watching you kind of thing.
Yeah.
As in, like, whenever something happens, they'll like tweets about you or they'll retweet stuff. There's one person in particular.
Bastards.
Like, even when you know you're about to tweet something or say something, you know, you're like, I know this username will disagree with it. You're like, I'm waiting on it.
100%. So anyway, I put a tweet out. Cal, if you want, you can put the screenshot on here because it's still up.
But don't pay him that much, mate.
But basically, the tweet was, in hindsight, poorly worded. But if you actually had half a brain cell, would realising that I wasn't saying the other thing. It was basically saying that asking when slurs became such a socially unacceptable thing, because me growing up in childhood, obviously now I've gone over the character limit, me talking, but that's the whole thing. Me in my childhood, slurs were like a very, very commonplace kind of thing, just as like not an insult or a jibe, but just kind of just a casual thing. Like, imagine just saying something's like, it's a bit annoying, so it's like, that's gay. It's just like, oh, then we got told a few years later that you can't say that anymore. It's like, okay, cool. So you just progressively get more and more. In hindsight, I shouldn't have tweeted it because Twitter's not the place to do it. That being said, it shouldn't not be. Like, the question was asking when.
But to be fair,
not that I wanted to say them, because I don't.
I'm not going to sit here and bullshit and sugarcoat anything. I told you right at the time, that's a fucking stupid tweet. I said that I'm not going to go, no, they're wrong. I was like, that's a fucking stupid tweet. You worded that wrong. You went, I haven't worded it wrong. I went, you have. Like,
That wasn't our conversation.
It was. You can scroll up in the chat.
Oh, no, in the chat, but to my face, you said you worded that badly. And I was just like, I don't think I did. And then that was it, really.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it, but I felt like it was worded in, because I feel like anyone who just, you have to remember, people don't sit there, it's not an English essay, people don't sit there and scroll through a tweet and analyse every single word. They look at it and they go, it seems like he's saying, why can't I say slurs anymore?
Yeah.
And that is the whole thing people were running with, because the way you worded it made it sound like, I used to be able to say slurs, why can't I say them anymore? That's what...
Which I agree with you. Like, that's what I agree with you. But that being said, also, which is my point, is if you had a brain cell, you'd know that if you knew me anyway, or if you didn't, a person's probably not going online saying, I wish I could say that word again. Because I wasn't, man.
Say that to Tommy.
Yeah,
say that to Tommy.
But the whole like fiasco...
Robinson.
What?
Yes.
I thought you meant
the
Tommy.
tank engine.
I thought you meant Tommy Innit.
Oh.
Right, Tommy Innit.
Loves a good slur.
Loves a slur. That whole thing kind of snowballed where the conversations that I was having at the start were like really like engaging. I was interested, I was learning. There was Adam Jack, there was G Nelson, there was a couple of other people. And then something suddenly switched because obviously something's been sent to a group chat, and then 3 or 4 people come over, and then other people come over from that. And then suddenly I've dropped my phone down for about half an hour and I picked it up again and I've just got this fucking streamline of abuse of these people. And then when I say something about it, like how they're making me feel, they're like, oh, you can't say that how you feel because it's not your place to be asking this. It's not your place. I was just like, you're trying to say, yeah, for a second that if someone's trying to learn, they can't learn. But because they're talking about reclaiming slurs and I'm not trying to reclaim anything.
I think that what you're saying, like, I do get, like, where you're coming from, but I just think Twitter is, bro, like, you see KSI is off Twitter, PewDiePie off Twitter, you kind of, Twitter's not the place, because it's just fucking...
Which is what I learned. Like, I learned 2 things, maybe 3, from that thing. Twitter's not the place to actually bring your brain to. because half of them don't have one. Second thing is that I don't know, man. It's just I learned from conversations where people actually wanted to teach me or wanted people to learn that slurs were never acceptable, and people just felt like they didn't have a voice to be able to voice their concerns and felt like their oppression didn't give them the right to be able to say something. Now, that was from a conversation which I had with two people.
The simple answer is social media. Like, that's the only reason, because there's more eyes, there's more people watching you. You can say, everyone says dodgy stuff in private, whether you want to fucking admit that or not, you do. And
should see some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, they're both for a reason, guys. Racist. It's simply just because of social media. But yeah, like, obviously, like what I was saying from the outskirts, you know it. People are looking at you. You're a white, middle class, private school educated white boy talking about slurs. People will just run with that and go with it.
Which I think is the most pathetic thing. Like, Cam was being sent some of my old tweets, yeah, and I deleted a couple because but I was 15. Fair enough.
Let's just be clear. None of them were actually saying the N word.
Oh no, none of them were actually bad. But like,
they were already deleted.
Yeah. But if I was actually asking a question about something which was completely pure of heart and well intended, those kind of things would be completely run with. And then there was a couple of other tweets that were saying that if you actually saw the context of the conversation, there was absolutely nothing wrong with it, and someone just wanted to see.
You should be able to burn all the gays, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Get them all gone. Just hate them all. No,
it's all about context, guys.
It is. But the thing is, yeah, what I don't understand and what really jars me is why someone would try and be offended by something as opposed to take a second and be like, maybe this person's trying to learn. Let me educate them. But just because I'm a white cisgender male, yeah, which completely fair enough. I'm happy, but I'm happy that I'm a white cisgender male. I've got no oppression on my side. Yeah, but that's privilege, and I actually recognise that. But if you actually want to tell me for a second that I can't try and learn something, fuck you. Like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. Fuck yourself. Because if I'm trying to learn something and I'm trying to understand how I can help you, I'm trying to be an ally to you. And if you don't want to have an ally, fuck yourself and be alone. Because I've got gay friends. I've got a transgender friend. I've got black friends. I've got Asian friends. I've got friends from all kinds of backgrounds. And if you want to tell me for a second that I can't try and be an ally to you, you deserve to be alone. You can just be sad with your own group of people that you want to make other people feel like they can't be on your side. But if you don't deserve that allyship then. And I'm not going to be able to help your life. But I'll help the people who care about me and I care about. I'll help their lives. Because I use my social media as an ultimate, most transparency tool. My mum says, you're too honest on social media. People who are also in social media saying, you are literally the same person on social media. But that's because I want people who to follow me would actually to know what I am. But if you want to question my integrity and you want to try and tell me that I'm someone who I'm not, you don't know me then. Like, if you want to assume the worst, I'm not perfect, yeah? I can be a twat. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not void of judgment. Like, I have arguments with people. I'm in the wrong and I'm in the right. But I'm a good person and I know that. And I think that's why I've been so low the last, week, is because some people have really tried to dig deep in there and try and convince me and make me feel like I'm just no one. There's a few people on Twitter, they'll leave those comments, they'll jar me because they think that they're so smart and you are so stupid. Like, you are actually so stupid. Like, I literally look at your tweets and there's hypocrisy written out through your tweets. At least I stick true to my word. I think you're a dickhead. I don't care, man. Sorry, I'm losing my plot. Like, I don't know, I'm okay now. And I will be fine. I just needed to get that out. I just needed to say that because I think some people just don't know their line.
I'm glad that it hasn't affected you, though.
It hasn't affected me at all. I'm cool. Yeah, have a good day.